punk ass up for the new world. Time wait for no man, no woman. Shit. Let me tell you something like this though. Everything shines like a crystal. And I ain't say it was a sphere or a ball, did I? What? I've seen some crazy things. I've seen some crazy things. You gotta walk it and be talking out. Walk it and be talking, yeah. Walk it and be talking out. Listen, I've seen some crazy things. I've seen some crazy things. You gotta walk it and be talking out. Walk it and be talking, yeah. Walk it and be talking out. Listen, I've seen some crazy things.
Ohio Smooth. I'm saying I'm gonna put that. Where gangster music derived from, it's smooth. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna put her in that. G funk, P funk, E funk, A B C D E F G H W. The English alphabet. I forgot.
Trust me, homegirl, you can never play me, bitch. Like, going back in my life, I done seen some crazy shit. Sit down, cause shit'll make you feel a fit now. I done seen some spirits lost in the fire, they can never get out. Can you please tell me what you live out? It ain't shit, just action, you know. Living through life and make you blind. That's why you need some glasses, though. Everything I spit is magical. Taking us to another land. This world getting too small, gotta stretch it out like a rubber band. We all go rain in the Hall of Mirrors or the Hall of Fame, you know. Don't get washed away like a pregnant girl when a water breaks. Underwater, please don't get lost today. You ain't never been where it goes down. Turn your ass into a ghost now. Parliament is a new Motown. Who you gon' sign? The Temp spaceships, the flight heartbeat. I've seen some crazy things. I've seen some crazy things. You gotta walk it and be talking out. Walk it and be talking, yeah. Walk it and be talking out. Listen, I've seen some crazy things. I've seen some crazy things. You gotta walk it and be talking out. Walk it and be talking, yeah. Walk it and be talking out. Listen, I've seen some crazy things. Tune in. The 117 radio. For all the tunes. Take you somewhere out of this world. Goddamn. Like Mickey Mouse wearing all yellow like Pikachu, you know. Whatever you wanna do, yeah, you can pick and choose, yeah. And when you're getting dressed, open my eyes, peekaboo, you know. Listen, I just really wanna get a peek at you. This is what I've really seen in you. Something better than my past. Grew up on me drinking water. Juice was never in my glass. Food was never on a plate, you know. Lived forever in a day. Might I ever see the sun? Like fuck the weather and the rain. I done seen a brother get vibes on their day off, you know. I done seen a girl suck dick for some food stamps. I done seen prostitutes that could've been grandma. I done seen crackheads go crazy for a new man. I done been through some crazy drama, go through daily problems. For real. And do you know what your baby mama did for $80? I feel. And you a goddamn fool, have you ever paid a holler? The fellas got me creating calls just to chill because I've seen some crazy things. I've seen some crazy things. You gotta walk it and be talking out. Walk it and be talking, yeah. Walk it and be talking out. Listen, I've seen some crazy things. I've seen some crazy things. You gotta walk it and be talking out. Walk it and be talking, yeah. Walk it and be talking out. Listen, I've seen some crazy things. I got that vision on me. I got that vision on me. I got that, I got that, I got that vision on me.
Oh, let's make that a dance. Let's make that a dance. My homeboy was in a drop top convertible. Don't be a minute while I drink your juice in the hood coming down the street with the toothpick in his mouth. I know y'all remember that part. I know. Hey, movie coming soon. Macatel with a movie. Macatel with a movie coming soon. And I don't really go no further than that. I don't think I'm missing a little toothpick. I don't know better than that. We're going to talk about some good energies, though. We're going to talk about how the moon is shifting. We're going to talk about the vibes. And we're going to talk about the Eastern sun. And we're also going to talk about, you know, actual allegories and things in the past, and based upon people cultures and what you should do. And I ain't saying what you should do or what you shouldn't do, but it'll make more sense to, even when you reading certain things. A lot of y'all are Christians and you see things like the star rising on the east or pray towards the east or whatever. So everybody had this little manuscript going on, people mixing cultures and stuff like that, to be able to understand. Without the religion, without the spirituality, it's going to happen anyway. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going to change it from being spring. You ain't going to change it from being summer. You ain't going to change it from being fall or winter. So for the most part, get with the program. You're playing some type of order that's beyond you, that's greater than you. And if you ain't gonna look at anything outside of you in some type of mind state that is greater than you, then you got some selfish energies going on, or whatever the case may be. And these are things that you may need to deal with before you even start to involve yourself with other individuals. And first, your family already know it. Your close friends already know it. They the first ones dealing with, goddamn, your toxicities and stuff. You know what I'm saying? All the weird energies and foundations and formations that I ain't even know that can be a formation. I didn't even know that can be looking like orderly fashion. That person made a lung. That person made a brain. That person here today. Sometimes you got to think like that. You're like, oh, what? No, I'm saying something. Hey, God said miracles do exist. So that's why I believe certain stuff. I be believing a certain stuff that y'all don't be believing. Because the way y'all believe it ain't how you believe, it's what you believe. And some stuff be true as hell. Some stuff be true as hell. You know what I'm saying? Just like when you praying to eat. But it ain't always just praying to these and things of that nature. Like I said, we getting ready to break down the terminology, and you will be able to see it in regular life. How it play out, and based upon, don't be too lost in expectations. You know what I'm saying? Give grace to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Where the real true power at. You will start to see certain links and bonds and the fogginess and the fluff that you no longer allowed to collect on your spirit to make it feel like you're responsible for it, because these things become these concepts that we call the world is on our spiritual back or whatever. But it's really like you're taking spiritual responsibility for things in the external, and you're living for other people's expectation for you, or what you may make up in your own mind, what people may expect from you and things of that nature. And therefore that put a lot of wear and tear on the spirit, because a lot of times you be in that energy of which way do I go, which way do I go. And even if you do go to a route with that A, B, and C, 1, 2, and 3, X, Y, and Z, a lot of times you still feel unfulfilled because it may not have something in that area, or something that you start to develop along that path and already have made a lot of justifications why you was going the right path. And here's the thing, it's not to even say that was the wrong path. Everybody need a roof over their head and clothes on their back and food on the table and things of that nature. So a lot of times, a lot of the big justifications we put on it, going for A, B, and C, 1, 2, and 3, and X, Y, Z, be predicated on those bases or whatever the case. So I don't want anybody to sit back either and get too lost, because y'all already know I'm from the hood. I'm spiritual from the hood, not spiritually lost in the woods. Spiritual from the reservations and hoods, not spiritually lost in the woods. There's a big difference. We need to know these differences online too before we get too much profiling where it don't need to be, and we all could be cool. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I like. I like everybody to be cool no matter what position you in, from the highest position to lowest position. When it comes to minds and us interacting, there's some quality God gave us all that we'll all be able to find some relatability and sync energy, no matter if we made a bunch of mistakes previously, even amongst each other and stuff like that. When God is in the room, that individual that's more of a spiritual adult will be able to find a relatable and more in sync energy faster than everybody else that's lost. You know what I'm saying? And if more people could start building their mental mentality on that and stuff like that, then we got a much more easygoing, you know what I'm saying, world where people can sit back and spend more time on their creativity and don't have these extremities when it comes into reactions when you start to experience certain negative things of that nature. And you have to give humans grace too, no matter if they got access to more stuff than you or not. They give everybody grace, man. Everybody just trying to learn, just like animals, bugs, parasites, you know what I'm saying, all species or whatever the case may be. But it takes a mature, keyword, mature adult spirit to even be in these situations. And then you don't even have to go crazy like how we even see the Pooh Shiesty and Gucci Man situation. But when you're from the hood, you got to kind of be in that fire a little bit. So the stone that you carving out is just right, because you're in an area of fire where so many stones will go ahead and melt anyway because it's too hot. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times it's hard to find precious stones in those areas anyway, and we could just justify things, put them in large percentage scales, put them in box categories, profiling or whatever the case, and a lot of things could be true to a certain default. You know what I'm saying? But that's why we all supposed to be here adding our godly piece that God gave us as a puzzle to the piece that we all can apply, so we can start to make broader decisions and more better things to do with our time and things of that nature that lead into more creative attributes in all areas. When you already doing something positive, and if you're doing something negative, to make yourself look at it like you know it's negative, and you ain't about to go through a different experience. It ain't about to be Reg off Friday for you. Oh, but it's different. No, it's not about to be different for you. Yo, the only thing about to be different was how it was done. Yo, the outcome don't be different and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Many people got to hell many different ways. Jail. There's many different ways, you know what I'm saying? So you just can't get all happy-go-lucky and stuff because your paths don't look like the exact route as somebody else's path. But think about what y'all both doing, robbing and bank. It make you think it's gonna be any. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the reality. I like to talk about reality and things of that nature, but tied with that spiritual sense, because that's the vibe we in when we be in the hood or whatever the case may be. Or everybody be crazy. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing what to do tomorrow, or not knowing how to get your 1-2 together. Or when you do get your 1-2 together, holding on to it for dear life and going to extremity reactions and stuff like that, if that even got any small signs of being threatened, or you having to, you know what I'm saying? And that's just a whole whirlpool in itself. But when it comes into these energies and these transits itself, right, we're experiencing, and I like to look at it based upon, well, not just look at it mathematically, if we want to separate it from astrology to astronomy, right? If you know what an asterism is, or in the chakra, or you know what I'm saying, or I like to call it the center mannerism, but it's mannerisms. When you got the first portion of the week represents the first decon, the chakra asterism, then you have the middle portion, then you have the mutable portion. So everything has a cardinal, fixed, mutable concept to it. And anytime we're not in the fixated parts of the season, like, you know, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, you know what I'm saying, but Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, or Scorpio and stuff like that, we at the beginning of the season, so that'd be the cardinal points, that would be like Aries, the beginning, then the life of it, Cancer, then the deterioration, Libra, then the fall, or the easygoing, or if y'all want to call it the death or the transition, that would be Capricorn. But then when we talk about the middle of the cardinal areas, this is where you get us considering which at a peak point, when something was waxing, reached that peak point, then can wane based upon transitioning to its next position, or as we rotate to the left and how it appears to be, because you can't have one without the other, can't have left without the right, can't have up without the down, can't have you without me. You see what I'm saying? So when you look at it from that aspect, it's a transition. So as we're on the east right now, I like to look at it like this: as the sun on the east, it's an esoteric east. So we create the physical representations of north, east, south, west, but there's a mechanism that it stems from that could, anybody can experience that east from their west, or their north, or their south, or whatever. Then everybody can experience that north from their east, or from their south, or from their west. Everybody can experience that west from that north, from that south, or from that east. And then everybody can experience that south from that west, or that east, or that north. So we're talking about the sun positions when we're cardinal ushering in the beginning of the seasons, or however the case. And when it's in the middle of it, before it's in this waning point to get ready to go to the next transition, this is what we talk about peaks, right? Peaks. And for the most part, also how y'all correlate from winter to spring to Passover, and from summer to fall to second Passover, and things of that nature, right? But when you understand it from that aspect, it's you're acting out something, and it's playing out in your life in your way of understanding. So in your way, your heart play, your way, your mind play, the way your interactions and how you play out things of that nature, that's still in sync, because you're in this world full of light, cloud, water, earth also, right? So for the most part, these are minor things that may have been put more importance onto than other things, as far as the nuance, due to the fact of the actions that it have motivated by people being in these states and things of that nature. So this is why you can read certain books and hear things like, okay, pray towards the east, or when the sun fell on the west, or there was a falling star, or things of that nature, right? But, and just to generalize it for you can understand it, and the nuance and stuff, it's just part of humans acting out something that's beyond them, but it's a form of trying to understand, oh, since there's a form of order, maybe if I act out this order in a way of my understanding, it may play out to be more relatable and sync. And that's when you find God. You could replace God if you don't believe in God with anything that could be more relatable and sync. You could be in front of your worst enemy. If both of y'all could figure out, y'all could just go y'all own way, and that leaves both of y'all not harming yourself and others in some way, shape, or form. Regardless, God don't care about who you like and somebody liking you, or you shouldn't be out here living for that anyway. But both of y'all are entwined with something, even when y'all ain't around each other. That's all God care about, and God had blessed both of y'all, no matter what have been done. If y'all could find that a situation, God to clear all that what you got going on. And when I say, a lot of people like to say, when you talk about God, you talk about a person doing something or whatever the case. No, it's all possibilities. So when you do a mechanism the right way, it's like planting a seed and a tree gonna grow, or a plant gonna grow. You're not gonna plant something synthetic and that's gonna grow, or you're not gonna plant a seed in something that ain't dirt and it ain't gonna grow. You go with a necessary procedure. Now we give broader words to things that's a broader understanding that still condense into our way of being able to understand. It's just a lot of people don't give importance to those aspects. They only give importance to the ones that maybe can feed them right away. You know, maybe can soothe their sexual energies right away. Maybe can soothe their habits right away, or whatever, for something to go in their way, or monetary gain right away. But other than that, there's a lot of things that go on as a mechanism before a transition and condense into that. Things that's less dense condense into the heavier dense energy. As far as your mind being a cloudy, then it condense and become the actual blood and the adrenaline. Didn't become your physical actions and things of that nature. So as the sun transitioning into the middle portion of, and then that's why even when they say the sun is exalted in Aries, based upon 17 degrees or whatever, or 19 degrees, it's telling you someone is calculating a peak point before reach a waning, or just that representation of transition into another position as it was leading up to it, and then getting ready to go to another position as the sun go into what we would call the Venus sun, and the energies that we see out during that time, during the fixated portion of spring. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, praying towards that energy and having things directed on your altar, it's like playing a thing in your manner, that how you're understanding that all things is condensed from light. You know what I'm saying? From a space that's being fulfilled with awareness, light, condensed cloud, condensed water, condensed earth. So any material that you're utilizing comes from the same thing you're made out of. You need the same thing that you made out of. If a mosquito made out of human blood, okay. If you made out of water, okay, that's why you need it. And you made out of light, okay, that's why you need it. So for the most part, if you do these things in the order you seeing it being played out beyond you, the light, the cloud, the season, the things that's actually interacting, that maybe a little bit more in tune with nature than you and stuff, all the way to, if you a person that's like a farmer or something like that, and you like to plant things, you know that this is the right time. Not just because Walt Disney taught you that this was the perfect time. You were supposed to know this already. You see what I'm saying? So for the most part, it goes beyond that, even to how we supposed to conduct our mind state. You know, so when it comes into things on your altar, right, it's not to give it spooky energy or whatever the case may be. When you really into it with nature, you understand true spirituality, not something that you're doing based upon divination or expectation for something that's just a physical result anyway. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times when you're doing it in a spiritual way, it'll lead into a physical result that's part of your expectation. You just have to be more on a percentage scale of that limbo. But you have to be knowing that it's beyond that, based upon the color, the symbol, the object, the altar, things facing the east. You know that, oh, I'm just interacting in my way, something that I'm seeing beyond me interacting, right? So if the sun is on the east, I'm going to make sure the object is on the east. And if the east represents birth, north represents life, west represents deterioration, and then south represents easy passing or transition and things of that nature, then these is the mind frames I need to conduct when I'm starting things, because I see nature do the same thing. I'm not going to go plant a seed in the middle of fall and winter time. So for the most part, this idea that I'm giving need to be in the mind frame of birth. And anything that I'm utilizing as far as the color or the object, or however the case it may be, on the altar face the east, because it ain't about something spooky or whatever. It's just me acting in order, that I know spiritually, having the real kind of faith this kind of characteristic and quality is going to play out and pour over in other areas in my life that I may not even understand. Like I'm in a science class and we still trying to understand actual transitions of births and the smallest nuance and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Neurons or whatever the case may be. You're putting faith in to being open, to be aware. There's other mechanisms and procedures going on, not just the one that you lost in as far as a bias because it's germane or commune to, you know what I'm saying, your breathing or your eating or whatever the case it may be. And then for the most part, you'll start to see, oh, there's other things that's in order that's playing out. There's a situation that I thought more orderly in order than this individual when we're both interacting in the situation. And without my assistance and idea, based upon the spiritual space I was in, that I was able to be aware of that light, that it condense and become that cloud and water, adrenaline, that I can express it with my earth, my body, or whatever the case may be, that I allow this situation or this idea or this creative attribute that all participants is participating in, for me to be here to make that play out more smoothly. And if I wasn't here, we can know that it would have led into a mistake or it wouldn't have been as perfect as it would have could have been, or whatever the case may be. That let me know that, oh, okay, this idea of just how I keep my own personal space, even when I wasn't around these people, or whatever the case may be, have something to do with pouring in over here. Because now, if I'm spiritual enough, I'm able to separate from what's actually going on and just check them how people move in their elbow. What do I mean by that? It ain't just the elbow. It's, oh, this person may have not had the ability to develop that idea that I may have had due to the fact of, let's say we in the studio, some of this person's lyrics may mimic some of the things that they're into when they ain't around us, or whatever the case may be. And if I'm spiritual enough, I don't have to be sure about all the direct things, but the world that they in will limit access to this idea I was able to attain. So I was in my spaceship. I'm able to fly where the world they in, understand that, fly in this other world, add things to it, and sync and relatability. Made me a little bit more creative than this person. Made my mind a little bit bigger than this person. They mind a little bit smaller, but each one teach one, and that's why we're here together. You'll be able to go deep like that. So I'm saying, without saying a word to everybody. Wow, that stimuli itself develops a different form of attraction where you don't develop no resistance. And even if you are better, more talented than your friend circle or whatever, it don't develop hate energy. It develop support and, yeah, let me get more validation from you because you got that quality. And you'll be developing more connection, more friendship because you're becoming a spiritual adult. You're being aware of mechanisms and things that's going on in life. The average individual is supposed to because they wouldn't be here. They just don't use their mind too. And all of our mind is intelligent. You see what I'm saying? And those, when you look at those, see, these are things when you might be so lost in life and stuff like that, like the regular things life got us in, social norms. It's hard to look at what I'm talking about as an importance. But when you start to practice it, you're building a mental muscle. And when you start to see it play out in your life, where it's a totally different situation, different ideas you had to accumulate, but you know you got some added stuff when you was in that different space that works out better for you, and you're able to compare and contrast where you're able to see a person needs to be in these spaces and they're not. And that's the reason they're not seeing certain things. Then also you will stop giving so many other individuals certain justifications that they just as smart as you. Because once you become more intelligent, you will learn that you're making a mistake. And sometimes you give your spiritual hand, even if it ain't nothing negative involved at all. You could put yourself in a position to appear to be wet, green, you know what I'm saying, gullible, vulnerable, even when you don't feel like it because you built up this energy in other areas, this courage and this confidence in other areas, right? But it'll take a situation to play out before you realize that family, friend, or associate or coworker look down on you or see you in a vulnerable position or in secret competition with you or things of that nature. And then it'll baffle you at that moment because then you won't even know you wasn't catching it where it started. So you'll be at the end of the stage oblivious to why it's even that and why you even feel that. When you're in that limbo, a lot of times you're more on a percentage scale based off not understanding. You're more on a percentage scale trying to confuse yourself. That's not what it is. You're going to feel it. God going to show you. God show us all. You're going to be aware of it, but you're going to be like, nah, it ain't that though. It might be because I'm tripping, or it might be because this, that, and the third, or how I'm thinking of this, that, and the third. A lot of times you dig yourself a deeper hole And when things go too far like that, sometimes that be the crashing out and ending of a like no return bridge burning scenario when it comes to family relationships, sibling, co-workers that you was once super cool with and it can never get back to the same again. Those type of scenarios. When something happened, it can't never get close to the same again. You know what I'm saying? At least close. It just got to be too distant or whatever the case may be. Yet is you can't get away from these. You know what I'm saying? It's like that type of situation. So it's like we give a spiritual grace. It's like we give a piece of ourselves without knowing it because we share layers of this world beyond the physical. We got the mind construct, our first layer body, and that one is much less dense. So this is how you're able to go with that body inside of somebody else's body and still share space to a certain degree with the first minds. And it could be inside your father, your mother. You could bring people here and things of that nature and different ideas. All men and women is thoughts and emotions. And you need to look at that too. We create men and women. You can have a childish thought. That's a young boy. You know what I'm saying? You can have a childish emotion. That's a young woman, not a lady. That's a young girl. But when you become a spiritual adult, you start to raise adult seeds. So you start to raise, pardon me, men. You start to raise women. So you have adult emotions. You have adult ideas or whatever. Things that could work around building structure. You know what I'm saying? And then sex in the spiritual world is just the joining of two things or multiple things to create another. So you share your first body with someone else. When you make up all that adult men and women, then you get with someone else nations, someone else stars, another spirit, God or goddess floating around with all they thoughts and feelings, men and women rolling around. And if they constructive, boom, y'all built something together. Now y'all gave birth to something. Y'all got a baby. Now, for the most part, here's the thing. If the sun is on the east right now, then for the most part, you put things towards the east and then it gives birth to whatever that anybody doing. That's any creative attribute. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be in a different energy where you got your objects towards the north. So you're trying to give life to something. You're trying to give water, seeds you ain't even plant. You know what I'm saying? Or you're trying to deteriorate something because it's time for harvesting. So all that hard work and shining and being the face of something, just time to recuperate. You know what I'm saying? Recoup something or whatever. And then you're going to get frustrated if you ain't in no position. You're going to feel like you did a whole bunch of stuff for nothing. In the spiritual world, that's you needing shelter and you ain't accumulate all the profit from your fruit or whatever. So now you feeling naked like you did a whole bunch of stuff during your internal spring and summer that you ain't necessarily seeing the benefits of or seeing the recuperation of. And so you planted all them seeds and it's took or whatever the case may be, all the fruit that grew from it took or have it, and then that's when you feel naked, and then you're going into an internal deterioration time. So when you're going through an easygoing deterioration time, that means it ain't always time to shine and be the face of everything and be in your ego. It was something you were supposed to already be doing with your ego, that whatever accumulated from it, go into that little hut for a second, go into that little shelter for a second, chill out, let somebody else shine and relax on the thing you already got, or you about to overdo something and start to build problems, start to build energies where you may have to look over your shoulder. So these are internal energies that you can even experience even if we all still in spring or however the case may be. Then you can have a graceful transition. Okay, it's time to go into something else and let this go, or it's time to have this as an add-on to something else or whatever. So this don't become burnt out, or this don't become something I'm trying to uphold and it's going through a death. So my spirit is inside of that mentality and I feel like I'm spiritually dying, or I feel like I'm spiritually losing, or whatever the case may be. That's going through that internal winter. You know what I'm saying? But externally, God shows us these things on a broad scale, or if the universe, or, just nature itself. And the natural qualities show us these natures of how they play out in order just by us experiencing the birth quality that we're calling springtime, the life quality that we're calling summertime, the deterioration quality that we're calling fall, autumn time, and the death or the easy transition going period where it's time to let go or use something as an asset, aka wintertime, or however the case may be, which will be Aries, the cardinal points of Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn: fire, water, air, earth. So it's showing you how these things play out beyond you looking at it as a form of fire, water, air, and earth. But if we had to go beyond words and things of that nature, or we ain't got no words for it, there's still a happening that we could be able to compare and contrast what's going on now and what's not going on in that period for the most part. And when you're looking at the sun towards the east right now, this what brings Easter, the Eastern Star. So, doing things in that direction is just like giving credence to an order. So it ain't for you to expect $1 million or you gonna see God face or whatever the case may be. But you doing something beyond you. Like if you was never born, it will be doing that anyway. So obviously it's more in tune with how you got here, how your parents got here, and beyond that. And that mechanism and procedure is for you to even think on your own to still do it on a micro scale to be involved in it. You know what I'm saying? And have to go your 1-2 with it. So it's just looking at it from that aspect and having a healthier starting point other than being lost in expectation. And that healthier starting point is basically letting you know that it's not something you're going to see floating, not no spirit, not no ghost tales or whatever the case may be, but you'll actually see order in areas of your life where we all want to see order at, but we may not necessarily know how to find it or how to get it. And a lot of times you even start with a mind state. You know what I'm saying? You could be a person, even if you lost in nepotism or you already have access to something or you sheltered or you spoiled or whatever. Everybody still need that mind state, the first body that the spirit, the soul could be inside of to feel comfortable with their getting ready to do as far as their actions. So when we start to talk about natural qualities and characteristics that develop with things that we all have to deal with, regardless of a person in a better position than someone else or not. So we talk about things like what makes the human nervous. You know what I'm saying? What makes the human doubt sometimes? What makes the human may feel like they're not good enough? And even at times when a person is in these positions, they still have these same type of qualities, these same type of energies and stuff like that. So, you know, when we can help each other in these areas with a mind state, that defeats half the battle. Especially even when it comes to animosity and problems amongst each other and stuff like that, that defeats half the battle. And a lot of times, you know, it just takes a spiritual person to go to certain things that, you know, others may have colonized or whatever the case, or created narratives around to try to justify it or whatever without understanding the nuance. So when you hear similarities, but then a different perspective of how a person may be seeing it, as far as, you know, a person you may be watching TV or reading a book, and a person may have a way of saying it because they're trying to justify someone else's culture. So what you hearing me saying, you might put me in a box and equate it to sun worship. You see what I'm saying? But then without hearing the nuance, because you're not around the people cultures and you might be colonized out or whatever, you're getting the wrong perspective of something and put it in the form of a joke without understanding. Last time I checked, these was things we all need, and it's not even necessarily a aspect of looking at it like that. This is something that everybody do every day. You know what I'm saying? It ain't what we think about, it's how we think about it. But you ain't gonna stop it. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't you gonna experience daytime and nighttime. So that's the what, how you think about it. I mean, that's on you or whatever the case may be. So, you know, we could argue all day, well, giving credence to the sun or giving credence to the nighttime is making decisions and stuff like that. Okay, yeah, that could be an argument all day. But if you want to talk about physically or whatever, last time I checked, when it get late, you get tired. When it's daytime, you get up and you can see. You know what I'm saying? That's the most physical. You can't get out of it. All your ideas is derived from the sun and the moon and the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? We the stars. But you can't come up with another idea. So your lack of appreciation and giving it importance, and how, not the what, the how you do it, is becomes a lot of the issues a lot of times, and why people even give more importance to even wanting to clash with others, when if a person doing it in the right way, it ain't something they really teaching others to force them to believe in something. They're basically expressing something that you could kind of see how these qualities play out into whatever that person or individuals is doing productive, whether they doing agriculture, cultivating some type of creativity, talent, mannerism, or some form of assistance when it comes to even what we're doing online right now, helping each other in the mind and, you know, pointing us in the right direction, even if we have to connect when it comes to physical attributes and what Walt Disney have taught us what we may need to do to look successful, or however the case. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, either way, you could be more in a position of challenging it, which there are all of our minds intelligent. Sometimes we just use our mind for things that ain't intelligent. So you could be using your intelligent mind for things that's not intelligent and fail to realize you're lacking developing your own intelligence. So you could be the face of something and be the representation of your intellectual property, or however the case may be. So you can add on with your puzzle piece to the whole frame or whatever, not just be explaining from someone else's puzzle piece and the frame and where they came from, and putting that as the end all and be all and things of that nature. And ain't nothing wrong with, seeing how someone else put their piece in a puzzle when you need assistance because you may not know where your piece fall at, or however the case. And that's what each one and teach one for. So a lot of times that put us more on a percentage scale of assisting each other, other than, directly opposing each other in some way, shape, or form. But it's a lot of folly game going on because it's a crazy snakish world. So you know what I'm saying? You just gotta, know how to move in a room full of vultures. You know what I'm saying? That's one Jay-Z bar that no one can get away from if you from the hood. That's no way. You know what I'm saying? He probably was talking about corporate. He probably had a watch on with no tick, a Rolex that he ain't get from the Arab store, the Japanese store next to the fake Jacobs and stuff, with the big 95 on the waistline and 19 on the goddamn ankles Jabols on and stuff like that. The size 5X, 7X goddamn white tee or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying size 95/45 fitted cap. Don't go no further than that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like I said though, when you just talk about East, right? So that's the spiritual energy of it. But when we get out a lot of our biases and stuff like that, that may suit, ultimately that leads to a person having a roof over their head, food on the table, and clothes on their back. You know what I'm saying? And realize that's more of the motivation, or if that's more the percentage scale, that'll also have a spirit check themselves also. Because when you put awareness out here, and the spirit is in that space where that awareness came from, but you may not necessarily been in that space, you just was in that world, so you are aware, so you took your awareness to put spotlight on that awareness to light one, cancel the other light out or whatever, so someone will feel like they're in the shade or have to develop their light in another area, because if they stay in that area, they either gonna have shade or have to brighten that area up and be the face and representing of the opposing position. And a lot of times that be the foolish position and things of that nature. So pardon me. So a lot of times a spirit, once they are aware that other people are aware of things, a spirit would check themselves before they dive too far into trying to be manipulative or trying to get they 1-2 over someone. That's why I said these is the early stages when you're a spiritual adult of understanding. Just as much as negative things happen to an individual that's negative doing things to people, just as the same type of outcomes can happen to you in a different way, but the same percentage scale when you allow things to happen to you. See what I'm saying? Because you're supposed to also see these things, or however the case may be. So you're supposed to see a lot of times when you got something physically or mentally or internally in gold and stuff like that, that you're supposed to give that importance. And when you don't give it importance, you leave it up to get taken advantage of, and you don't start to feel like you're separate from something and need to get it back to feel fulfilled again until it's already gone, until it's already said and done, to that family, friend, associate, or coworker already took advantage of you, till you already got played out of your position, till you already got overworked because you thought you were showing yourself and showing off your talent or how good you could be at this job, until you realize the manager was overusing you and still paying you the same thing everybody else was getting paid, and now you want to work just as lazy as everybody else because you now got played as the fool. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case. The manager was hyping you up. Like, yeah, you're doing a good job. You want to do this for an extra hour? You just, because this person don't do this, do that. You could do this, do this. After a month go, you start realizing I ain't getting no raise or nothing, whatever the case. Now you starting to realize why everybody else was working. Like, manager had you in your mind that he just made a mistake hiring a whole bunch of lazy No, I'm saying that wasn't the case. No, motherfuckers start thinking real quick, like, we all get paid the same thing. I'm going to work just with the work needed to be done. And then you go learn real quick. A lot of times if you get y'all a few months down the line and you want to quit, you start creating unworthy animosities and stuff, unnecessary goddamn elephants in the rooms, because it be reaching those times. You like, I've been playing food this whole time. You know what I'm saying? It be deep. It be deep in real life. In real life, once upon a time, YouTube was gold. When all the real people was on YouTube again. You know what I'm saying? Now everything is narratives and stuff. We can't hear nothing that we all relate to, and other people, even if you got a job or not, and stuff like that. You got family members and be like, oh, that remind me of this. Ain't that no more, man. That's when YouTube was popping, man. That's when YouTube was popping. It make you feel good to leave a comment or something. You know what I'm saying? Disagreeing, agreeing, it just felt good to participate. You know what I'm saying? Now you got to be kind of weird if you want to participate with anything. You know, oh, I do this, I'm not going to psyop. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, nah, man, what the fuck? But But that's the energy everybody just want to be in when it comes to being fruitful and stuff like that, because it's like giving life to something. But right now you want to give birth to something. All the way down to you can't escape nature. You plant a seed during this time. This perfect time is starting to spring. So for the most part, when it comes to your ideas and you want to interact with other individuals and stuff like that, try to be in the aspect or the mentality of I'm giving birth to something. And if it's something that you feel like you got to overdo or up pump from previous or whatever the case may be, that may already be a red flag. What do I mean by that? That may be a circumstance of showing you that this is, you wasn't on the train of thought, on a line of reasoning, or you already wasn't in order, and you trying to uphold something that ultimately going to create disorder. You're trying to make something fair and balanced that's ultimately going to create a whole bunch of unfairness and balance. And you looking at these things like if you don't do it, things won't be fair, things won't be balanced, things won't be orderly. And then that's when you're going to start to experience disorderly conduct in your life, or things that drive you to do things unnaturally catered to you, or however the case, or that's not representing your independence or your individual path. And everybody around you, as far as your family, friends, and associates and coworkers, you're coming to that realization and stuff. So, and depending on how knee deep you didn't got into that, is how much energy you got to put in and get out of it, which a lot of times create unnecessary animosities and stuff that didn't even have to go that far. Because, once you start to realize certain people or certain things that you're doing is no longer germane or commune to what you necessarily need to do at the moment or currently, so things could be much more brighter and stuff, that come with a lot of people that in that pocket when you was in that space. People you didn't connected with, certain other things, people gonna look at you certain ways, and you got to deal with that, and extra energies that you got to do now just to separate from it, or whatever the case may be. And a lot of times this is where we fall short, where our relationships and our communities fail for purposes that it didn't even have to crumble over, because we lie to ourselves too much with these relationships and how we connect. You see what I'm saying? And we'll never waste more time stumbling over gold first. So God show everybody gold. God show everybody, all races, all ethnic groups and stuff like that. So the sooner the better. So it just so happens some people find their gold a little later than others. So that later process, they got a lot of stain. They got a lot of involvement. They got a lot of, think about people who maybe had to go to rehab because they went through extreme fentanyl problems or alcohol problems and things of that nature. So think about the loops that they have to go through. Yeah. Before the alcohol, I was in this spiritual space that led me to be going at this area at this certain time. And that's how the root of me meeting this person. And now that was my person I could be this buddy with, that led to us having this whole group. And now you can start kind of compartmentalizing, but separating from those things that can be a little bit more resistant than the things that you need to separate from that come with it after the fact. You know what I'm saying? That's like homeboy having to hop out the whip. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of allegory, or whatever the case may be. Oh, you ain't with us now, or that kind of energy you got to deal with, or however the case, and what you gonna do and how you gonna say to switch up or whatever, because that's how individuals gonna look at you or whatever. Which all that is fluff anyway. If you're a true adult, you know how to come at people so it don't be that type of thing anyway. But these is the things that people fall short towards. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times a person may not know how to deal with that, especially the peer pressure. Peer pressure isn't always a bullying situation. A peer pressure could be a close one, family, friend, associate, and coworker that did a lot for you at your time of need. So then when you find your gold finally, everybody get that little antsy spirit energy. Well, I got it now. Damn, do I got to redo all that again or whatever? I don't need this person. You go to that energy again. So it might be certain situations where even that person may not need you on that high percentage scale that you needed them. But at the same time, there may be other things that when you do find your gold, you may still see that world or that situation don't match this time that I'm in. And you got to deal with that, because it ain't really no disingenuous way you could come at that. Either you a strong spirit and you genuine, or you a person that's getting ready to kind of like play these energies of secretly is getting ready to be a small seed that lead into a bigger problem. A bridge burning scenario with that family friend or associate, an elephant in the room that it didn't have to be, because it started off at that early mustard seed, the tit for tat. Because it's like, what do you say to a person? You owe one, but when you found your gold, your creative path or whatever, or your new friendships or whatever, it don't have anything to do with that either. So it's not a problem, yet that previous situation needs your time from something that you're involved in and ain't got nothing to do with it. So you can't even look at it negative either. You see what I'm saying? It's almost like even growing up with homeboys and homegirls. I know a lot of y'all homegirls know it because I went to high school with a lot of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all done went upside the head of a lot of other chicks and stuff that y'all have problems with because y'all messing with the same dudes and stuff like that, right? So it's a time where you out of that. You ain't even messing with these people. You only go out of town now. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You got your big girl draws on now. You know what I'm saying? But it's that time that your homegirl still getting hit upside the head because she still was at the local bar or whatever the case may be, messing with old Jimmy or Peter and Paul, goddamn it, other homegirl baby dad or whatever. So you still involved, and all those times you can't forget that you got help before you got hit upside your head with a school lock and stuff like that. What do you say to homegirl? You can't be like, oh, no, I'm saying all that esoteric currency she got on you that you gotta pay back a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You can't be acting all funky. No, you can't be acting all funky. You acting all uppity, and that's where that energy be coming from too. That's why when we people from the hood, when we be saying people be uppity, it's nuances to it. It be nuances to it. It don't just be us wanting people money or something like that, or wanting the spotlight. It don't be that. It be other nuances. It be like, wait a minute, hold on. You would have got your head knocked off your shoulders if I wasn't around. You don't get to be in some good rooms, go in some good rooms, go on meetings in different cities and states. Like forget the homies. You know what I'm saying? You don't get to do that. You probably wouldn't even made it in life to that position if it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you gotta think sometimes. So it be nuances to stuff. It be nuances. You know what I'm saying? So those are the things when you spiritual and you in the hood and stuff. You got to be like, yeah, life is hard. That's hard. And we ain't really talk about what y'all be making hard. We can deal with that because we go through worse. It be that. We got care. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. You know, we creative and stuff like that. You know, it ain't just the hood. You know, we got people in the suburbs and stuff like that. Everybody can feel this energy I'm talking about and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it's just a thing. You know what I'm saying? This is a thing to be appreciated when you're developing and, you know what I'm saying, trying to get your 1-2 and stuff, and you're trying to make something for nothing or however the case may be. But yeah, just getting into it's a nuance to stuff or whatever. It ain't just all about that or whatever, because everybody building each other up in some way, shape, or form to even know the place and the role that they're playing in their areas, their neighborhoods, their locations, their schools, their managements, their sports, their entertainment, their careers, their white collar, blue collar businesses and stuff like that. Everything is really high school. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure everybody know that. Pretty sure everybody know that. If you 80, 90 years old and they just raised the retirement, so you still got to work and stuff like that. You got a job right now. You know you in high school somewhere. Yeah, right now. It don't matter how old you know you're like everything in high school somewhere. Everything. That's why I don't know why they just made YouTube out of it, but everything and stuff. Everything is high school stuff. You get institutionalized to the point that you've been working so long, you feel uncomfortable not working and stuff like that. You're 80 years old, like I don't know how to live my life without working and stuff like that. You still know you're in high school though. That's what it is. It's high school still. I'm saying it's still high school and stuff like that. So that once humans get out of that energy and we all could like somehow pass 12th grade and create like a world college or something like that in the mind, we good to go. I think I'm probably the first. There's a few people online. I'm like first. Just it's just a different viewpoint. You know what I'm saying? We ain't motivating, we ain't doing nothing, we minding our business and helping our own family and stuff like that. But we giving what God gave us all the ability to do. What's our puzzle piece? You know what I'm saying? It's just an idea. We're just putting it out there. One person got their idea, then eventually it accumulate out the atmosphere and become the actual environment, or however the case may be. And that's all we're here to do and stuff like that. Don't overstress yourself. Don't overworry yourself. You know what I'm saying? Don't be so down on yourself when the things that you overstressing and overworrying yourself don't come to be. You know what I'm saying? That's God showing you overstressing and overworrying about some stuff that I might not even want you on that path. Who said this energy I got you in right now? Get out of that cloudy glasses, expectation, foggy direction, or whatever the case may be. It's something else I want you to see while you're in the spiritual space. And something you need to see here, you need to start developing and start planting seeds in. And a lot of times people can't see it. They keep looking past it and it be right in front of them. And they be looking at other things and stuff like that. And then for the most part, then that's when God can't help you. But if you do find that, you'll start to see, oh, God helped those who help themselves. You helped yourself see that, and then you seen something that God had there dangling in front of you the whole time and stuff like that. Boom. You're able to take that gem and it pour over into some type of creativity. You know what I'm saying? Some type of attraction. Like the sidewalk somewhere gonna light up when you take a step on it or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You're like, hey, like it's the middle of the nighttime, somebody to shut out the street light or whatever the case may be. As soon as you got on that street, boom, it's good to go. The news reporters could go ahead and finish reporting or whatever. We just need you to go ahead, do a few steps, do a cartwheel right there, boom, you good to go. It's gonna light up, whole street gonna light up once you walk on the sidewalk. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be something like that. You're gonna be at the Mario Star World, the goddamn level stages, all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? All that type of stuff. And at least that's how you're going to feel. Because every time you're around, someone needs your ideas. Someone needs your assistance. You're going to feel value. And what's valuable? Precious gold. You know what I'm saying? And you probably ain't even got no gold. But goddamn it, God is showing you you got the quality of gold because that's what we make first. That yellow iron oxide in the mind. You know what I'm saying? So it'll start to produce in your DNA. You're walking gold. You're walking value. You know what I'm saying? You're always valuable. You're always going to be a valuable player. And in real life, substantiated circumstances of business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics. Because this is what we all do. We all entertain each other. You know what I'm saying? We all politic amongst each other. You know what I'm saying? We all educate each other. And, you know, sometimes we all join cults and become legions amongst each others and redo things. But at the same time, you know, it ain't what we do, it's how we do it. So when you're doing it for God, it's going to look at like it's more in sync and relatable, regardless of what we calling it. You know what I'm saying? As long as it's more relatable and in sync, it's closer to God or whatever the case. So all participants, no matter the lower on the scale to the high, especially when the lower on the scale, people going through things of that nature. Like I said, going back to this point, you'd be amongst your worst enemy and you still know how to go your way and that person know how to go their way. You know what I'm saying? And then for the most part, you know, there's a concept that God give us all an idea of how to see something beyond when we ain't around nobody else. And we all got that understanding. It was already understood, don't need to be said when we all around each other. And that's the coldest game ever. When people, more and more people could get onto that. But for the most part, that's some cold game. Because an individual that's already in that spot, they already true to the game. They already cold. So they are already these individuals in their family groups, friend groups, you know what I'm saying? Co-worker groups, cult groups. These are already these individuals. You know what I'm saying? If you watching me, you probably one of these. You know I'm one. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it means to be chosen. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't nobody actually chose you. You know what I'm saying? You chose to do something in the rightful order. And if God is the one doing all the chosen, God chose that order. So for the most, if you're doing an order that God chose or whatever beyond you, like a spring, summer, fall, and winter, you're doing some order or whatever, then for the most part, it'll play out in reverse. You're doing things that chosen individuals do, because chosen individuals take self-responsibility in the spirit world. They choose to do things in order like God. Ain't nobody actually gonna choose you. Everything is a mechanism, and you have to do it. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't doing the mechanism, you know what I'm saying? That's just like even what y'all calling like heaven and hells and stuff like that. These are just mechanisms. You could be a person that's lost in a synthetic mind state, so you the only one who gonna be dealing with that or whatever. Or you could be a person that's in sync and relatable, so you're not trapped in that, and you're able and free to make a new mind and a new body. So we all do some form of reincarnation or whatever, but it ain't what you do, it's how you do it. And you could be stuck in your mind and it can't wake up the body again once it died, and you stand there stuck in your own sun, your own mind, your own sun and moon. Or you could be an individual that you always was in sync and relatable, so you always expanding. You're not trapped in a mind state and a feeling and trying to uphold it, and then it may have catered to your biases when you was alive, and that body ain't even alive no more for it to be with your mind state trying to do it anymore. That become hard. I can't do it. I can't fly. People don't like me flying anymore. I don't like flying anymore. You can't stop it, and that's a nightmare or whatever the case. But for the most part, people who already live in their mind the way that their body have already made, then you're already in sync and relatability. So you're not trapped in a mind state or whatever. So all mind states people are trapped in, you're able to see it from the outside in. And if you are experienced and been around a spiritual block, you already been there and done that and probably been in that world more times than them. So it play out as you having more ideas how that role play out. You know what I'm saying? So any spirits may try to play that role. They're in that world. They can't see it from the outside in. So their highest intelligence It's just going to be how to flap their fins. It's like a fish in water, not knowing that a human is breathing in air or whatever the case. So the fish could come up with all kind of ideas, or the shark could come up with all kind of ideas when they see type of mirrors and reflections and things of that nature of the human or whatever. But the human can sit there and just justify, oh, this is just sea life. It's just sea creatures. So, some sea creatures is more dangerous than others. I know not to go part of that river, sharks or whatever. I know not to go over there or whatever. But you're able to see it from a distance because you're a higher evolved individual. That's how it is in the spirit world too, when it comes to spirits that may be lost in mind frames. So they're in that ocean, being in their first body, a fish, the spaceship, and that water goes in a certain direction in that certain geographical esoteric location. And if you are adult spirit, you have adult spiritual bodies, mental forms that look a little closer to God or whatever place, like I have most DAP, the holy ones. So you're seeing things from different angles, also being a part by percentage scales of the things that's coming from these angles, because we're all made of the same substance, but it ain't the what, is the how. You're constructed with more artillery. So for the most part, when something from one of your previous or artilleries you already have come out as a representation from that whole world, you should already be able to adjust or assess anything, no matter the how and the angle it's coming. The whole world and the totality and the angle is coming from and a direction towards you, or however the case may be. And therefore, you don't necessarily have to know which goldfish, which hammerhawk face shark, or whatever, bluegill, goddamn it, vertebrate, goddamn goldfish, or however the case may be, on goddamn fish, guppy, jawline, face. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to know the Pacifics. You just got to know that these piranhas come from this part of the ocean or whatever, and this part of the ocean is a little bit more heavy in current than that one. You know what I'm saying? Ride the wave. You know what I'm saying? You can see that little light in the ocean and stuff like that. That's a thought. That's a man. You know what I'm saying? Thank God for Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Jesus. But for the most part, it's just helping you understand the spiritual world. You see these things for real. You know what I'm saying? That's where all spirits was at. That was at least intelligent. Before you get lost, look at it from a distance, or read the book after 2,000 years, and then you want to go ahead and get your own retarded idea about it and help you with your white collar, blue collar business, or help you rob a bank. You know what I'm saying? Life ain't about that all the time. It's a deeper nuance to things. It's more of a surroundings. It's more of a vibration. That's the vibes. So the vibes right now is what you're planning, what you're getting birth to. And it leads up to summertime, Cancer. That's you starting to express it, give it life, give it an expression, be a walking example of that. Now it's going to be time to chill out as the sun go into fall time. Relax. It should be a lot of things you have accumulated if you was on the right side of the energy, going on the rainbow the light ray, the right way, that should have you be able to chill out, and your name should be still potent anyway for what you have done or whatever. Then you should be able to make an easy transition as the sun go into the winter to put death to things that you was already relaxing on, because your spirit is upbeat and charged and more expanded to get ready to do it all over again. So where that previous bush was at last spring, you might put it a couple inches over here, a couple inches over there, but goddamn it, you about to put some helly fruit on it this time, some shit that we ain't even seen last year. I ain't never seen that leaf that kind of color. I ain't never seen that kind of caterpillar turn into a butterfly with those kind of shades. What's on your mind, homie? You know what I'm saying? What's on your mind, home girl? Because we make this beautiful world. You better believe that. You know what I'm saying? That's that communion. You know what I'm saying? So once you understand that, start to direct that towards your creative attributes, things you do. Now, if you want productive, this might be something you hate on because your energy is not already involved in being productive. Or so you're going to try to still find productivity energy just being a productive hater. You know what I'm saying? Or you may look at this like, okay, I'm not productive, or I don't have no creativity, or whatever the case may be. Maybe I need to sit somewhere and get inspired so I can start to utilize these things. Here's the thing. You can all the way be down to if you're a person who made music. You can make a song about birth. It might take off. It ain't even have nothing to do with a baby being born or whatever. You gave birth to a new business. You just started something. You just started your path. You just started this new diet. You know what I'm saying? You just started this new mind state that got you acting in better ways in your life than you was last week or however the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Start there. You'll start to see how that start to trickle down and accumulate and become all kind of different sophistications and things that you can start to express yourself and bask in and have people start to see you in that light also. And then you'll start to see how it pour over in other areas that ain't even got nothing to do with that. All the way down into what y'all quote unquote having confidence. To the point that it'd be like second nature. It ain't you having confidence. It's just you doing what you do. Do your thing. I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart. Flight boss, beep, you know, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of an Antares Moon. I'm the Royal Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry God duties and regular responsibilities. Woo! Rack the SWAT, yellow, hold that yellow, woo. Massasoit, mama that toy. And I'm going further than that. Masasaki. Oh, yo.